Welcome back to another episode of Don't Shoot the Messenger. It's myself, Culturecams, back again with another one. What is this? This is episode 12. And I literally just deleted all my notes that I just wrote prior to the show. So literally just deleted it all right now. So we're just going to be freestyling right now. I just had it deleted, but we move. But listen, guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all of that. You know what I say every week, man. Pause the show, like everything up, and yeah, man, let your auntie and all of them people know, man. But again, you can see Kobe top I got on today. 1 year. It was 1 year on the 26th, right? 1 year on the 26th. So, we always have a tribute for him. So RIP to Kobe. Have I missed anything this week? Has anyone else passed away? Oh, I said Larry King last week. There was the icon, the actress. What's her name, man? You guys know I'm talking. She was 96 years old. It's so bad that I'm a black boy and I don't even know her name. New production. Come on, man. We usually faster. What you got?
Bro, I can't remember. Just cut this bit out, man.
Nah, it's fine. It's fine. This is the show, man. This is the show. What's man says CJ Walker. I ain't moving on until I've given this RIP. Please, guys. 97 years old. She was 96. Icon.
She's the grandma in all the black movies.
Listen, she's an icon. Everyone's mourning right now. Oh my God, look at my production team, guys. Look at my production team, guys. They can't even get the talent. Cicely Tyson, RIP to her. Legend in this thing. I heard she was in. I didn't really watch many of her stuff. I know she was in How to Get Away with Murder and a few things. That's how kind of like my age group kind of know her. But yeah, man, RIP to her. Anyway, let's get into the show. So this week I was actually gonna start talking about the racism on social media that went on, everything that's been going on with Martial and Twanzebe. But all I'll say is everyone needs to just go and search what Ian Wright said about it. And to be honest, I ain't really got much to say more than from what Ian Wright said. So do you know what? I don't want to have a bit of a downer, depressing topic. So go and search what Ian Wright said about the racism. I back those points 100%. So that's where I would probably tell people to go and do. I'm not going to go and preach on top of it. You guys know my views and my thoughts on them things all the time. Ian Wright summed it up perfectly. So it is the halfway point of the season. Well, just over the halfway point of the season. So I decided I'm going to do a little half season review in terms of, player of the season, young player of the season, manager of the season, signing of the season. So this week, we will start with the player of the year. So for me, there was 3 options for player of the year for me personally that are the front runners, and that's Harry Kane, Bruno Fernandes, and Jack Grealish. And I'll go into why I think for each person. For Harry Kane, he's actually solely. So listen, last season I made the comment about MVP, like who's the MVP for their teams, and I was in agreement with Grealish and Danny Ings. But that doesn't mean they're necessarily the player of the year. But Harry Kane this season, for me, if you're talking about like MVP, it has to be him. And he's contributed himself with his goals and assists to over 70% of Spurs' goals this season. I believe in the league it might be. 12 goals, 11 assists. So he's doing amazing things statistically. I know now he's turned into an attacking DM, but he's still managing to find his way to score goals and create. And of course, just, generally put the numbers down. But so for me, if you're talking about who's the most valuable player of the season to their team it would be Harry Kane at this point, in my personal opinion. So that's why he's got to be in there for me, in discussion for the player of the year. Then you've got Bruno Fernandes. Bruno's got 11 goals, I believe, is 7 assists. He's having a great season statistically as well. His impact to Manchester United is amazing. Everyone has seen the stats pre-Bruno, post-Bruno, this, whatever. You've seen all the stats that you can possibly imagine. And he continues to put them numbers down. I just kind of think he will probably, for me right now, I know he's just got underneath Kane for goals, but I think all-round performance-wise, I still have Harry Kane above Bruno. When I watched both teams play, I know Bruno still puts the numbers down, but when I watch both teams play, I still have Harry Kane's performances just a bit better than Bruno Fernandes. But I've definitely got him up there. He's definitely one of the forerunners. You guys, let me know who will be in your top 3 as well. Don't forget to let me know. Just let me know whoever you guys think. If you guys don't agree with the top 3 that I've said, shove it in there. But Jack Grealish, for me, is my current, at the moment, player of the year, in my opinion. You guys know how much I love Grealish. Ridiculous. When I look at him, he's got 9 assists in the league, which is for playing for Aston Villa. Most chances created in the Premier League, I believe it is. KDB's got 10 assists, I believe, and Kane's got 11. So he's just 2 behind the top assister. And you look at the importance. Again, as I mentioned, most valuable player, whatever. Last season, I had him as that. But this season, I genuinely have him as, when I watch football matches and when I watch games, he is currently, at the moment, for me, when I watched him, the best player in the Premier League. And Kevin De Bruyne, obviously, overall, people will have him as the best player. Now, I don't mind that. You can say whatever. But this season, for me, performance-wise, he's putting down the good numbers. Just generally watching the game, the eye test. For me, Jack Grealish, the best player in the Premier League at the moment. And it's crazy. And the thing is, he's not only doing this. Everyone, listen, I've been talking about Jack Grealish for a long time. Since he's been in the Championship, I've been saying he's going to do bits in the Premier League. But no one can deny that even now, last season, you can say he was so good. But this season, it's even now reflecting, because Villa are doing very, very well in the league. Where are Villa in the league? They're in the top 7, I believe it is. Top 7, top 8 maybe, with games in hand. So Aston Villa, he's actually taken Aston Villa to new heights. And it really reminds me, they're, 9th with 2 games in hand. And you look at, it reminds me, his season that he's having right now, he's probably going to put down better numbers, but it reminds me very much of Dimitri Payet's season for West Ham. When West Ham, he went crazy for them, carried them. He's not going to put down like 20 goals and 15 assists, but you watch his performances, how much he influences games. You watch the goals that he puts in, this, just everything all round. I just kind of liken it to that. And I think currently at this moment, especially now with Bruno hasn't scored or assisted in 5 games. And Bruno's bread and butter is goals and assists. If Bruno's not getting his goals and assists, you start to look at him and you've got question marks. Harry Kane has gone down. Kevin De Bruyne has gone down with injuries. And I'm talking about Harry Kane's gone down with injuries, not form. So for me, those are the 3 that are leading the charge at the moment. But, you know, I got to go with my boy, current best player in the Premier League, in my opinion. England need to put everything around him for the Euros. I'm going to go Jack Grealish. So far, remember, this is a half-season review. So far, I'm going to go Jack Grealish for the Player of the Year. Now, we'll move on to the Young Player of the Year. So they got the Young Player of the Year. I had all my list and numbers of people who I had in consideration. But my list for Young Player of the Year, we got to go Foden. We got to go Saka. We got to go Diaz. We got to go Fofana. You gotta go. That's so many. I'm just saying the names. I'm going to put like top 5 because I think there's more outstanding young players at the moment, like for that category, than for who's like the best player at the moment in the league. Because like you can throw Mo Salah in there because he's top scorer, but for me, I don't think he's been the top 5 in the Premier League so far this season. But what was that? Diaz, Fofana, Foden, Saka. No, I missed out a name. Thanks, mate. I only say 4. There's Rashford in there, but I just don't like putting Rashford. I think he's just too old. I don't like giving it to these guys that are just that age, but he'll be in there. And there's one more person. I said Diaz. Diaz is Diaz is the same age, isn't it? Yeah, true. That's true. I don't even like putting either of them in there then. But I have to. They're gonna be in the and Declan Rice. They're gonna be in the nominees at the end of the season, in my opinion. Will have to be throwing them 6. Lamptey started the season really well. Everyone was talking about him, but of course he got injured. So for me, at the moment, it has to be Diaz. I mean, the revolution. I mean, have City conceded 13 goals this season or something like that? 13 or 14 goals. 10 clean sheets in the last couple games. Listen, he has come to the side and just completely changed them. And City now look an absolutely solid unit. It looks like who's going to even score goals against Man City. So I think that you got to give him also credit for the way he came into the league in terms of he's come from another country. Just the impact that he has made. His impact is very much like how you looked at Van Dijk's impact. When Van Dijk came in to Liverpool, everyone was happy, everyone dominating, talking about how much he's dominating. And it's the same thing with Diaz. And Diaz came and he said something along the lines of, I just love defending. He said something that made me, I loved it. He said something like, I love making the opposition look weak, or something along them lines. Like, he just loves defending, and that mentality has boosted Man City majorly. Another shout for player of the year. I love how Cancelo has been playing this season, but maybe I'm just excited because I love him. But he's been doing great this season. But back to Diaz, I just think him, for me, right now, he will be the young player of the year. I know people are going to talk about Saka. He's been doing great. His numbers as a young player is amazing this season. Foden as well. But I just think Diaz pips it. And then Fofana as well. Maybe it's the year for the centre-halves. But Fofana's come in, done well. Everyone is surprised about what he's come in and done because no one really expected it. You got to think he was the one that was seen as the lesser player to Saliba. So big up him. Big up Rice. I think he's doing great as well. West Ham are flying. They just lost 3-0 to Liverpool. They got humbled today, but 3-1, sorry. He did really well in the totality of the season.
Is it 23 at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, you got to be 23 at the beginning of the season. And Ndombele is not in. No, he's not. People are getting a bit too excited with Ndombele right now. But so yeah, for me, those are the players for me at the moment. Anyone else, throw your suggestions in. I personally wouldn't have Ndom in there. I think he's having a good season, but finally people are just watching him play, so they're a bit excited. But I mean, I don't know what you expected from Ndom, to be honest. He's a good player. So yeah, those are my lists. Those are my players. I'm disappointed that I can't be putting Mason Greenwood in there. People like Reece James, they should be really disappointed not to be in there. They should be pushing. They're the talents that should be pushing to be mentioned amongst these names. Yeah, so those are my young player nominees. My young player of the year. So let's tick them off. My player of the year, Jack Grealish. Production, are you going to be able to be putting pictures while I say these? Yeah, all right. Yeah. Thank you. I love that, mate. So we've got Jack Grealish, player of the year for me so far. I got Diaz, young player of the year for me so far. Now we move on to signing of the season. And I love this signing of the season one because you've got Diaz, you've got Souček, who is actually a confirmed official signing this season. You've got Fofana, and you got Emi Martinez for me. I think it's a lot of names, but for me, I'm gonna go Emi Martinez. I think he's just been. Listen, this guy's giving me Peter Cech vibes. I'm not. This guy's giving me Peter Cech vibes. I swear to you, you gotta think about Emi Martinez, right? This brother sat on the bench for 10 years, a decade. When Emi Martinez first started sitting on the bench, Alex Ferguson was still around. He was still running around in the Premier League. You got to deep how long Emi Martinez decided I'm going to be a bench player. And he must look back at it and think, well, everything happens for a reason at the end of the day. So I can't really say it. But he must look back at it and think, but did I waste so much of my career? Because the guy is amazing, in my opinion. That guy is a top goalkeeper. And, you look at some people, you've had people that have had great little seasons like the Jack Butlands and who else? You've had these flash in the pan keepers that have come through, Butland and Kirkland and Jaskelainen, and maybe I'm going too far for the young heads, but I just actually look at him and think he's a complete keeper. He comes out, he comes out of his box, he commands his areas. He's an amazing shot stopper. He's actually, you see him talking a lot. Like when you watch now we got not a blessing that's the end, but we get to watch it without fans in it, so we can actually hear who's talking, who's calling, who's claiming. So he, for me, is definitely up there, and I think he is my signing of the season. I know I've got Diaz as a young player of the year, so let me not give him everything. Fofana, unlucky to miss out, but there's one more player as well. Actually, this is a tough one. I might have just confused myself because I've got Martinez, but then there's Højbjerg, whatever people want to call him. He's been sensational. He's been sensational for Spurs. And when you actually think about signing, I know we only think about on the pitch matters, but if you actually look at it on the boardroom, they gave Kyle Walker's Peters over for 15 million. Was it? No, they gave Kyle Walker's Peters over for 12 million and signed Højbjerg for 15. Am I correct, or is it the other way around? So altogether, it came up to like a net of 3 million. They basically got him for 3 million. Højbjerg. Like, come on. That for me, so if you're talking about a business deal, that's easily the best business deal of the season. But on the pitch, as much as he's been great, Højbjerg, he's still, Spurs are still punching in the same areas that you expect Spurs to punch. So I'm going to give it to Aston Villa's Emi Martinez, man. I don't like the whole big team bias that we always do and everyone does. We got to give him his credit. He's been fantastic. He's been honestly fantastic. So that's my signing of the season. So back again. Jack Grealish, player of the year so far. Nate Diaz. You guys have been getting me on UFC too much. Ruben Diaz, young player of the year. Signing of the season, Emi Martinez. Then manager of the year. Listen, it literally looks like Aston Villa show today. But it's tough between Dean Smith, Pep for coming back the way he did, or Moyes. People might say Brendan Rodgers, but he's still punching in the same areas he was punching last season. Moisey, amazing job he's doing so far. When you consider that people thinking that maybe they're going to get relegated, remember it was really laughed at when Moyes got announced. So when you think about what he's doing now, he's got his Sue check-in, he's got his players. I think you've got to give him mad credit. Dean Smith as well, punching way above his weight. Last season, I had him down as the worst manager of the Premier League because I thought they could do a little bit better. But he's come again, signed some good players, and they've gone again, and they're having a very, very good season. But just because I don't want to make it everything Aston Villa, I'm going to give it to David Moyes. My manager of the season so far is David Moyes. So again, now we're going to run through it again so you guys do not forget. Jack Grealish, player of the year. Ruben Diaz, young player of the year. Signing of the season, Martinez. Manager of the season, Moisey. And you can probably ask like team of the season, I guess, so far, but it has to be the team that probably are top of the league at the moment. It has to be Man City. They've won 12 in a row now in all competitions, conceded 13. Considering how they started, you would have thought, Man City, what's going to happen with them? But listen, they just said, you know what? Forget the whole, scoring this many millions of goals. We're just going to shut up shop. And it's worked for them in a league that you consider everyone just concedes and leaky. And we talk about defenders ain't good in this era and this and that. Pep is showing a side to him that I haven't seen before. And that's just solidity. And of course, all of Pep's teams don't concede loads of goals, but you kind of see a lot of vulnerability in them. You see them, you see teams being able to hit them on the counter, blah, blah, blah. You don't even see that in this Man City team at the moment. It just looks like no one can even phase them at the minute. So got to give them that credit. So I'll give them the team of the season so far. And yeah, man, I had other things on my thing, but it's actually completely deleted. But I am not going to do flop of the season or nothing because, I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to be nice. Everyone wants to draw the dark side of me. I'm trying to be nice now. Even when I'm praising players, I'm just like, bruh, you can't win out here. So I could do flop of the season, Havertz and winner, but I'm not going to. I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna move on with that. Like, we'll see how it goes. Flop of the season is harsh because it can turn around very quickly. Especially with this Premier League season. You don't know what you're gonna get. But so far, those are mine. So you guys, let me know who your player of the year is, your young player of the year is, signing of the season so far, and your manager of the season so far, and team of the season so far. If there's any surprises, any little ones that may, people might think Aston Villa are the team of the season, West Ham, or even United for where they are pushing. You don't really know. I don't really know what people want to put as theirs, but those are mine. So I just thought I'd give you guys a little half season review. Let's see what happens for the rest of the season, man. Let's see if we're going to play this back and I'm going to be completely wrong, or if it's going to stick with these names. I remember, I think it was 2 seasons ago, we did a halftime review on stoppage time, and we had like Son was one of the players of the years, and Felipe Anderson was like underdog of the year, and Jesus Christ, by the end of the season we didn't even know their names. So maybe that might happen again. Who knows? But so far, that's my list. As I said, let me know on yours. And, as I said, guys, like, share, subscribe. That is episode 12. I'm about to jump into stoppage time. I don't know what the Spurs score is at the moment. What's the score, please? We're still 1-0 Brighton to the Harry Kane team. But they ain't got Harry Kane DM. So, when Harry Kane's DM, he stops the counter-attacks and all that. But I've been seeing Brighton were all over them, innit? Boy, listen, we're going to talk about that on stoppage time. I'm not going to talk about Messi. I can get into Messi's contract, that contract. All right, let me not get into that. I will speak on that on stoppage time. That contract, liquidating the club, boyhood club. But we move. I don't want to diss him, man. He's the GOAT. So listen, guys, that's another episode of Don't Shoot the Messenger. And I will be back, I'm sure, next week or the week after. Who knows? And with more topics. And yeah, that's me, man. I'm out.